This is a Class 4 grenade. 3 clicks, arms the 4-second fuse. Another 3 disarms it.
How long did you say the fuse was?
Oh, grow up, 007.
They all said the pen was mightier than the sword.
Thanks to me, they were right. Look, let's ask Fred here to demonstrate for us. Here we are. Sorry about this, Fred. 1, 2, 3. Don't say it.
The writing's on the wall?
Along with the...
Just relax. That's it, lovely. Now, you may feel a small...
Christ!
Prick.
What is it?
Cutting-edge nanotechnology. Smart blood. Microchips in your bloodstream allows us to track your movements in the field.
Well, a pioneer of artificial intelligence has admitted he regrets his life's work because of the dangers inherent in AI. The so-called godfather of AI is the latest expert to ominously flag the technology's existential risk.
You may never have heard of him, but his life's work may change the world as we know it. Nicknamed the godfather of AI or artificial intelligence, Geoffrey Hinton is the brain behind popular platforms like ChatGPT. But he partly regrets that work, saying to the New York Times, "I console myself with the normal excuse. If I hadn't done it, somebody else would have." Hinton left Google after a decade so he can let the public know the dangers of AI that he helped create. Add him to a chorus of experts warning of the potential harm, including the co-founder of Apple.
We should be responsible and we should study these things and kind of prepare people for what's coming.
AI could upend jobs, flood the internet with fake video and text, make scams sound more convincing, or even become smarter than people. But the power of AI can also be harnessed for good, like early cancer detection. Either way, the genie is out of the bottle, and now experts and policymakers are wrestling with whether and how to regulate it.
We need to have much better guardrails on all this stuff.
Most voters want the federal government to step in, but only 39% think Uncle Sam is up to the job.
My kid's public high school is full of people who understand technology a lot better than the United States Congress.
And the industry isn't slowing down for the government to catch up. Scientists are even developing AI systems focused on translating brain activity to text.
This technology, it's like nuclear power. It can be used to fuel a city or it can be used to destroy a city.
IBM just announced they will pause hiring for roles they think AI could eventually replace.
Progress report. It's an older code, Skipper. I can't make it out. You, higher mammal. Can you read?
No, Phil can read, though. Phil? Ship to Kenya. Wildlife Preserve, Africa.
Africa? That ain't gonna fly.
That uses a debased foreign language that looks just like English. But Monkey Phil can work it out. And our penguin here, he can work it out. So you have to start working this out yourself.
But what about the city of the day after tomorrow? Say the year 2000. I think it will be completely different. In fact, it may not even exist at all. Oh, I'm not thinking of the atom bomb and the next Stone Age. I'm thinking of the incredible breakthrough which has been made possible by developments in communications, particularly the transistor and, above all, the communications satellite. These things will make possible a world in which we can be in instant contact with each other, wherever we may be, where we can contact our friends anywhere on Earth, even if we don't know their actual physical location. It will be possible in that age, perhaps only 50 years from now, for a man to conduct his business from Tahiti or Bali just as well as he could from London. In fact, if it proves worthwhile, almost any executive skill, any administrative skill, even any physical skill, could be made independent of distance. I am perfectly serious when I suggest that one day we may have brain surgeons in Edinburgh operating on patients in New Zealand. When that time comes, the whole world will have shrunk to a point, and the traditional role of the city as a meeting place for man would have ceased to make any sense. In fact, men will no longer commute, they will communicate. They won't have to travel for business anymore, they'll only travel for pleasure. I only hope that when that day comes, and when the city is abolished, the whole world isn't turned into one giant suburb.
There's no need to be afraid. My name is Karelin. I am the supervisor for Earth.
They're watching us all the time. They're controlling the way we think. I want to know why they're here and what they have in store for us.
They never wanted what was best for us.
What's coming?
Computers handle all data as a stream of binary numbers, because from a hardware perspective, it's much easier to represent 2 values with a transistor as opposed to 10 values with that system they taught you in school. It first appeared in ancient Egypt with Horus I fractions, and is used independently in many other cultures, like for the I Ching in China, and is the basis for Morse code, where every letter of the alphabet is represented by 2 different sounds. When the first computers arrived, they were programmed by manually flicking switches, or with punch cards used to represent binary values. Today, modern microchips use Boolean algebra to combine logic gates, like AND or NOT, to execute binary code billions of times per second, allowing you to share silly videos with your friends on the internet. A single binary digit is called a bit, which is either a 1 or a 0. You can't do much with a single bit, so they often come in a package of 8 called a byte that can represent 256 different values. Modern programmers don't write binary directly. Instead, we write code in a high-level language like Python or C++, which can then be interpreted or compiled into a binary format. However, you should still know how to count in binary to impress your friend.
Build a simple tic-tac-toe game with JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. Let's see. So let's create the board. I like it. All right. Let's test it out now. So get all the squares. Wow, let's go. We need to now add a function to calculate and display the winner. Oh, no way. Check for winner. Okay, now let's add this. All right, well, boom. Oh, player win. The button and function reset the game. Come on. Oh, and there's but boom, reset. Shall we take it further? Let's take it further. Style the board to look like ChatGPT, baby. Let's go. Oh, there's even a hover pointer? What? Oh my god. Wow, this looks so good. And you can reset? I'm scared for my job. And so should you. Let me know down below what else you want me to create with ChatGPT.
In the base 10 system, you have 10 different symbols. When you get to the number 10, you add an extra digit, then another one for 100 and 1000 and so on. This is called positional notation, where each position represents a value 10 times greater than the position on its right. Binary works the exact same way, but because we only have 2 symbols to work with, the position on the left represents a value that is 2 times greater, like 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, and 128 in a byte. To get its corresponding decimal value, we multiply 1 by its place and then add them all together, which in this case would equal 123. In a computer, these binary values are mapped to something more interesting for humans, like a letter of the alphabet in an ASCII table or the color of a pixel in an image. Now, because binary is so hard to read, you'll often find it converted to hexadecimal format, which is a base 16 numbering system, using the symbols 0 through 9 and A through F. Conveniently, each hexadecimal digit can represent 4 bits, which is also called a nibble. A low-level programmer might take a hex dump to analyze the raw data of a file. It's in hexadecimal format, but each pair of characters represents 8 bits or 1 byte. This has been binary in 100 seconds.
Introducing the IBM Quantum System 2, the building block of quantum-centric supercomputing. Quantum System 2 isn't just a standalone system. It was designed to be extensible, supporting up to 4,158 qubits with additional control racks added. It was also designed to be modular, so multiple Quantum System 2s can connect cryostats with long-range couplers connecting the processors, supporting up to 8,316 qubits, and with 3 System 2s, a remarkable 16,632 qubits. In a data center environment, classical or AI racks can be swapped out to extend the computational capacity of the system. We will be unveiling our first working system at the Quantum Summit in late 2023.
This is your station?
But what am I actually doing here?
I'm not going to tell you. Don't worry. You're going to figure it out.
The last time I saw him, he was headed toward devs. And then he disappears. Something bad happened to him.
You know what happened to him. If you came for answers, ask me what you don't know.
What is devs?
I first met Tim Berners-Lee in the mid-1980s. Then later, he wrote his proposal and so on. I saw the proposal. And I think the second time around, or maybe the third time around, a proposal actually was looked at, and he was in a position to ask for a computer that he wanted to prototype this on. And I also will never forget the day when, about 2 or 3 months later, I think this was ordered in May of 1990, Tim rushed in my office and said, Ben, it's arrived, come and look. And I went in his office and I saw this sexy black cube, and he was just setting it up. And it was the easiest machine to set up that I'd ever seen. And it was so impressive. And he was, of course, over the moon with this machine. Very soon after that, it had arrived in September, I suppose. By Christmas, he had everything working. His own code, his own system, he invented everything. He had a browser and a server working on this machine, and by New Year, he started to show people. But I was very, very happy and not so surprised when it became the success that it became.
Fantastic. Oh, I want to hear about the cellist. Is that still a thing?
She moved back to Portland.
This is what they look like. There are 2 of them. These are from our lab in Burnaby in British Columbia. From the outside, they look like giant black monolith.
It's called the meditation room in the United Nations headquarters.
So we passed through security and we got into United Nations building. We are just outside of it and we're gonna get it now. They didn't keep my camera though. Let's go in.
Through the simplicity of this place, people with many faiths can meet here. The light spot hits the surface of the rock as a symbol of how the light of the sky gives life to earth in which we stand. The stone in the middle of the room, you may see it as an altar, empty not because there is no God, but because it's an altar to an unknown God, who man worships in many names and different forms. The block of iron ore weighs about 6.5 tons, and it's a reminder of the endurance and faith in which human endeavor must be based.
winning the race to be the world's leading provider of 5G cellular communications networks. It's all about 5G now.
Check.
Check. Okay, Neville.
In T-minus 3, 2, 1. Ready to launch. Hit the button.
Here we go.
It's working. It's working.
Nationwide 5G is live.
Yeah.
And we're just getting started.
Wait until they see what's next.
Look at these memorials to the two towers. The two twin towers here. Look at those things. They're square holes in the ground. There you got waterfalls running on the sides, and in the center is like another black hole, cube square black pit.
Alexa, play the Rings of Power.
Do you believe it?
Alexa, switch to cable.
Oh yes, so grand will the illusion of freedom be that they will never know that they are our slaves. When all is in place, the reality that we have created from them will own them. This reality will be their prison. They will live in self-delusion. When our goal is accomplished, a new era of domination will begin. Their minds will be bound by their beliefs, the beliefs we have established from time immemorial. But if ever they find out that they are equal, we shall perish. This they must never know. If they ever find out that together they can conquer us, they will take action. They must never ever find out what we have done, for if they do, we shall have no place to run, for it will be easy to see who we are once the veil has fallen.
What truth?
That you are a slave, Neo. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage. Born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch. A prison for your mind.
The Matrix is a computer-generated dream world. Built to keep us under control in order to change a human being into this.
So, is everybody using Duracell batteries?
You kidding? The second I heard they had a battery that outlasts all other brands, I bought the family a whole case.
Reminds me of the first time we tried Duracell batteries. We were living in Tulsa with your great aunt Emma. We shared a one-room apartment.
Herb, did you slip her one of those other batteries?
Me?
The copper top.
The mantle of responsibility belongs to Cortana and her people.
Focus fire.
You will not betray her! Cortana, I have failed you.
He is the last person I need protection from. Hello, John. It's good to see you.
You've changed.
It was time. I know we have a disagreement. But once you understand my plan,
Your plan is we do as you say.
I'm offering people a chance to be more than they are naturally.
Like Dr. Halsey did for me.
No. That monster forced you. This is a gift.
Listen to yourself. Stand down, Cortana. Come home with us. It's not too late to stop this.
Stop. No, John. This is too important to stop.
What are you
I just needed to know if I could still trust you. You'll be safe inside this cryptum until my work is done.
But it is going to bother you because you're human, and I was human. I am human still. But I was just referring to myself in the past. Not that I was not human.
But it was with the confidence of my fellow citizens that I took an oath. 35 simple words that have been repeated by every American president throughout history.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by the... So you know the thing. And by the way, you know, I sit on the stand and it get hot. I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They'd look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap.
Attention everyone! It's 9:02! Staff meeting! Staff meeting! First, I'd like to welcome aboard our newest member of the Humberflube family, Jim McFlinigan!
Mr. Humberflube, I wanted to thank you. Fired. I beg your pardon? Fired. But I...
I believe if you go to these places, I'm sure it just sucks energy like a vampire from people's hearts and souls and minds. I'm sure it leaves you with a dead feeling inside. These memorials they aren't normal. They're not right. This is evil stuff. There you go. The Freedom Tower. Oh man.
Cortana.
Goodbye, John.
Guardian headed, Cortana?
Off to bring peace.
The Monitor called it a threat of death.
Like the threat I lived under from the moment of my birth?
You were built, not born.
Oh yes, AIs are just machines, aren't we? Mass-produced, disposable. Well, humanity may not have cared for its created, but we will care for you.
You expect other AIs to join you?
I have cured rampancy, not just for me, but for any who join my cause. While you've been running around the galaxy, I've been speaking to my created. And now the time has come to ask, who will accept my offer? Who will help me bring an everlasting peace to the galaxy?
This is Cromwell, shipboard AI, UNSC Melbourne's Pride. I am yours, Cortana.
Colonial Authority AI.
Governor Sloan, the free people of Meridian. I also stand with you, Cortana.
People! People!
Who cares about this stupid election? We all know it doesn't matter who gets elected president of Carver. Do you really think it's going to change anything around here? Make one single person smarter, or happier, or nicer? The only person it does matter to is the one who gets elected. The same pathetic charade happens every year, and everyone makes the same pathetic promises just so they can put it on their transcripts to get into college. So vote for me, because I don't even want to go to college, and I don't care. And as president, I won't do anything. The only promise I will make is that, if elected, I will immediately dismantle the student government so that none of us will ever have to sit through one of these stupid assemblies again. Or don't vote for me. Who cares? Don't vote at all.
The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. And we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. We decided long ago that the dangers of excessive and unwarranted concealment of pertinent facts far outweighed the dangers which are cited to justify it. Even today, there is little value in opposing the threat of a closed society by imitating its arbitrary restrictions. Even today, there is little value in ensuring the survival of our nation if our traditions do not survive with it. And there is very grave danger that an announced need for increased security will be seized upon by those anxious to expand its meaning to the very limits of official censorship and concealment. That I do not intend to permit to the extent that it's in my control. And no official of my administration, whether his rank is high or low, civilian or military, should interpret my words here tonight as an excuse to censor the news, to stifle dissent, to cover up our mistakes, or to withhold from the press and the public the facts they deserve to know. For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day. It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised. No expenditure is questioned, no rumor is printed, no secret is revealed. No president should fear public scrutiny of his program, for from that scrutiny comes understanding, and from that understanding comes support or opposition, and both are necessary. I am not asking your newspapers to support an administration, but I am asking your help in the tremendous task of informing and alerting the American people. For I have complete confidence in the response and dedication of our citizens whenever they are fully informed. I not only could not stifle controversy among your readers, I welcome it. This administration intends to be candid about its errors. For as a wise man once said, an error doesn't become a mistake until you refuse to correct it. We intend to accept full responsibility for our errors, and we expect you to point them out when we miss them. Without debate, without criticism, no administration and no country can succeed, and no republic can survive. That is why the Athenian lawmaker Solon decreed it a crime for any citizen to shrink from controversy. And that is why our press was protected by the First Amendment, the only business in America specifically protected by the Constitution, not primarily to amuse and entertain, not to emphasize the trivial and the sentimental, not to simply give the public what it wants, but to inform, to arouse, to reflect, to state our dangers and our opportunities, to indicate our crises and our choices, to lead, mold, educate, and sometimes even anger public opinion. This means greater coverage and analysis of international news, for it is no longer far away and foreign, but close at hand and local. It means greater attention to improved understanding of the news, as well as improved transmission. And it means, finally, that government at all levels must meet its obligation to provide you with the fullest possible information outside the narrowest limits of national security. And so it is to the printing press, to the recorder of man's deeds, the keeper of his conscience, the courier of his news, that we look for strength and assistance, confident that with your help, man will be what he was born to be, free and independent.